Hey Tuskegee, welcome back to another episode of Tuskegee Online, your digital platform that gets you up close and personal with the candidates seeking your vote on August 26th in the municipal election in the city of Tuskegee. Today we are with Mr. Joshua Lewis, who is your candidate for District 4 in the city of Tuskegee. And we're going to jump right into the questions. So let's get started. Mr. Lewis, welcome to the forum today. How are you?
Thank you so much, Mr. Patrick. I'm doing well. Thank you for having me here. I'm excited.
Great. Before we get started, why don't you tell everybody that's watching a little bit about yourself?
For sure. My name is Joshua Lewis. My wife Tiffany and I, along with our 6 children, live here in Tuskegee in District 4. And we've been living here for about 3 years now. We pastor a beautiful church in Macon County. And I am a community grassroots organizer. That's what I do. By heart, I've been an activist. I love people, and it's really threefold for me: God, family, and community. So that's God, family, and you, beautiful people here. So I'm excited about everything that's laid before us. It's a lot of hard work before us, but I'm no stranger to hard work. I've been doing a lot of hard work throughout the Black Belt. Currently, I'm working in counties such as Dallas County with Selma, and also Montgomery counties and some others. And that work includes dealing with the community, with engaging them with the ideas, acquiring funding for the ideas, whether it's on federal, state, or even mutual aid grassroots level. We do what we need to do. We've not only had ideas, but we've implemented some things. And I don't want to just implement them in the Black Belt, y'all. I want to implement them right here in Tuskegee while I'm raising my children, and I'm sure they're going to raise their children here too. So, yeah.
Mr. Lewis, tell us, why should District 4 voters choose you to represent them on the Tuskegee City Council?
Yes, sir, Mr. Patrick. That's a wonderful question. I would say this: you should choose Joshua Lewis. Should choose me because, truly enough, I'm here with you. I'm working alongside you. I see the struggles that experiencing the same struggles with you and the same desires that you have. And not only am I here in that capacity with you, but I also have relationships, not just within Tuskegee and Macon County, but at several different levels, so that we can get to where we need to get to with the right relationships. Choosing me is choosing not just for your children, but it's choosing for yourself, for your auntie, for your neighbor, for your brother. Because listen, we got to work God's vision. We got to work the vision of family. We got to work the vision of a community. And it's going to take all of us to do it. But relationships that I have, I've acquired them over the last decade. I want to leverage them, and I'm going to leverage them. Been trying to do so. It's been a little bit difficult with the powers that be now, but the tides are changing. There's a pivotal moment that we're in here in Tuskegee, especially in District 4 being a new district. And I believe that a new vision, a fresh vision, is just what we need to move forward. And so by choosing me, that's what you choose. You're really choosing yourself, District 4. You're choosing us. This movement of this we movement, we can do this together. Okay.
That's a good segue into the next question. What exactly is your vision for Tuskegee over the next 4 years, and how do you plan to involve citizens in making that vision a reality?
That's a beautiful question, Mr. Patrick. My vision is a vision that's influenced first by God, by family, and like I said, by community. And my children tell me all the time that they want something to do here, right? And so I'm going to sum it up in this way. My vision for District 4, and I would say for Tuskegee, but District 4 is to have District 4 clean, to have District 4 safe, and to have District 4 fun. Right? When I speak on having it clean, that means I see the dilapidated houses, the structures that's been run down. I'm familiar with the history that's here, the Vermilion buildings that are here, the mentor that is in the area in our district, his house was here. There's so much history that needs to be restored and preserved. And I believe that by making sure that there's intergenerational collaboration with that, making sure we're getting after the funding we need, making sure that we're applying the ideas and doing what we say that we're going to do. And that leads to the other question about community responsibility and accountability. I want us to make sure that we engage our community, even down to the neighborhoods, to where we have a structure to where we're not just as officials or as elected officials saying what we want to do, but we're being informed by you, the people. And so citizens watch groups, action groups, these things have been done before in cities just like ours, and with success. I think that we can do it here as well. And so it's a vision that includes the whole family. It includes the students, it includes all of it, but to sum it up again, we want to make sure it's clean. We want to make sure it's safe, and we want to make sure it's fun. Let's get recreation in here that it's not only the traditional recreation, which we appreciate. I spoke with Ms. Joy and the crew, and also others like Mr. David Henderson, who's heading up the PTA for BTW. And their ideas are plenty and beautiful, awesome ideas. And I believe a lot of them are happening and are going to happen. But I also believe there's other things we can do towards recreation, even by way of involving our history in it. We're working on some tours right now with the Selman and Montgomery, with Whole Street Museum down there. And we're finding that we're going to implement some virtual reality. We're going to allow for QR codes to be placed on placards around the area from the Selman to Montgomery march. Have about a 6.2 mile stretch we're focused on. And as the kids scan the QR code, they can go into an immersive virtual tour of the space and see what was, and also the plans for what will be. And so just a little bit of what we have, but there's so much more. And I'm looking forward to implementing these things along with the people of District 4.
Thank you for referencing that rich history. Tuskegee does have a very rich history, but it faces very modern challenges. How will you support economic development without sacrificing the city's cultural identity?
That is a rich question. Let me say this. My background with that question goes all the way back to my time as chairman of the redistricting committee of the Lee County NAACP. It was newly instated, 5038 branch of NAACP. Proud about that. Around the COVID time at that. But however, we were dealing with the issue of gentrification. And we were seeing that there were some companies that were moving along down the MLK corridor on Highway 14 that didn't have any kind of respect for the history of what we've come through, what we're planning on doing, not even consulting with the folks who own the property of the place, just moving in a way to really take over. And so I've come up against that kind of fight before. What I've learned in that fight there is that through proper community action and also through certain policies that can be put in place. See, when you're dealing with mayor and city council, especially in this new form of government of strong mayor council, you're dealing with policy. That's it, politician policy. And so these policies, these ordinances, these things, they affect the businesses, they affect the economic development. And I must say this, it would be nice to have an economic development officer, someone for the city. It would be real nice for that to take place. It would help us to curate our own narrative, help us to cast vision in a more intricate way. And I think involving the living legends that are here, some even within the vicinity of this neighborhood, we need to involve them in these plans. There's a lot that can go on, a lot that we can do, but keeping that in our forefront of our minds will help us. If we remember where we come from and make sure we preserve that, we can plan to move ahead without fear of losing the richness of our history.
Tell me, Mr. Lewis, what specific policies or programs would you like to introduce to support economic development and job creation in the city of Tuskegee?
I love that. I want to look at programs, first speak on that are very heavy on training people in trades, skills. Even recently when it comes to the lifeguard situation, so we needed someone to work the Henderson Pool. It would be nice to have in place a process in which someone can be trained in a proper time in order to fit. And so when it comes to economic development, we don't want to just reach out and try to plan on casting vision for businesses, but we want to make sure we have the workforce that is in place. And so I really want to push and lean toward programs and invite programs that are building up our workforce, because that's truly where the power is, right? And as far as policies, I want to look heavily at those policies for new businesses that come in. I want to see what possible things could be forego for these new businesses to make life easier for them coming into this city with their families, make it more even attractive for them, and understand how we got to create revenue, all of these things. And so, but I really want to look at these policies around creating businesses, and we can't do that also without looking into the chambers. The connection with the chambers, the city, and Tuskegee University must be made tighter. It has to be made tighter. And of course with the citizens at large too. We all have a part to play in that. But that's where I want to start. I want us to start with workforce development, making sure we can train and train well. That's what this is about. Booker T. Washington was heavy on that. Lewis Adams, heavy on that. Those who were around in that time, and even now, heavy on that. I want us to return to that.
Very good segue. Now, if you are elected, Mr. Lewis, what are your top 3 priorities in your first year in office, and how do you plan to achieve that?
That's good. That's good. If I'm elected, my top 3 priorities. Number 1 would be to create a dissemination of information process, meaning that we have to have weekly, not weekly, but monthly meetings. And if there need to be a time when there's weekly meetings, we'll talk about that. But I want there to be consistent meeting and conversation between the elected official and also those people who they are serving. All right, so that's one way. Also, I want to deal with the issue of the trash piles that are around my district. Every street that we have canvassed and we have spoken to, I've heard from you, I see you, and we are concerned about it. Good news for Benson, we have seen there have been some vehicles back in play, and we've seen some trash piles get picked up, and we're glad about that. But there's work to be done, and so I want to look at what we can do to fix that. There are a few things. There's an opportunity for us to look at putting a system in place in neighborhoods to where they can identify where the trash piles are, maybe posting a QR code on a trash can or a light post, all right? And they can even work alongside the neighbors and see what it is that we can do, because it's not just on the city workers, not just on sanitation, it's also on us taking pride in our neighborhoods. And so I want to make sure that that is something that's in place as well. And thirdly, I would take a deeper look in the first 90 days into our environmental issues. That issue on Nancy Street, although not in our district, it affects Tuskegee. And I don't want us to have districts to where we're just prideful of where our district is and we're not connected to the greater Tuskegee. And so if that issue can happen there, that means this issue can happen in my district and your district. That means policy can help to prevent that. I'm into preventative measures, and we can do a lot of things, not just cleaning up, but things on the forefront that can help to prevent these things, okay? And so for those who may not know, there's a waste issue on Nancy Street where there are a couple of individuals who have been for years putting their waste out where we are living and breathing and playing, and this is not safe, and nor is it legal. And so for our city council, I think there are measures that could have been taken, and there are measures that I would love to discuss taking once in office. So those 3 things, working on the communal relation between, and transparency between elected officials and the people who are serving. Also dealing with the trash piles and the beautification, the cleanliness safety issue. And also dealing with another safety issue, the environmental safety. We take care of Mother Tuskegee, this land, she would truly take care of us.
Are you ready to dig into some tougher questions?
Let's dig, let's go.
Hold on a minute, Guys,
Yes.
come go with me. Come on, go with me.
Thank you, Mama.
They got this air that's coming on them and they might catch cold.
Yep,
Come on.
Thank y'all. We're high five, man. That's a weak one, but I take it. Oh, that's real weak. I'm gonna need y'all to read up when y'all get back. Okay, sir. Am I still good, Mr. Patrick?
Yep. All right. Let's get back on it. All right. So a couple of these questions are a little tough. First of all, Tuskegee has struggled with issues related to transparency and trust in the local government. What steps will you take to rebuild that trust?
Yes. I mentioned earlier the Citizens Watch groups and things of that nature.
Hold on. Let's start over again.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do that again.
Okay, let's do that.
All right. Ready?
Yes.
Okay, Tuskegee has struggled with issues related to transparency and trust in local government. What steps will you take to rebuild that trust?
Yes. I believe that relationships are key. It's a key currency to moving forward, to progressing in life. And as you know the people in your district, you can better understand them. And so I think that is what we start with that, okay? That knocks back on the door of the Citizens Watch groups. That's something I do want to implement. I've seen success throughout rural areas and other cities. I would love to see that here. Also, as far as public engagement is concerned at council meetings, I would like to look at restructuring it to see what a better fit would be, what that would look like. There have been a lot of concern with how that is being done, and some of that is because people just don't know, they're not informed on how, what's the legalities behind that, what does the books say. And so informing people, that's one thing I will dissemination of information, passing out information, presenting it to the people, making sure they have it, not just through Facebook, but other conventional and traditional means as well, even old school flyers, giving it to moms in the store and things of that nature. Teaching them about how local government works. Some people have a distrust in local government simply because they have misinformation about local government. And by correcting the misinformation, you can then cool down or stop the misbehavior. And so those are the avenues I would take. Heavy on the relation, and how can we look at putting processes in place to ensure transparency is a key thing. And once again, policy is what we do, and that policy is not just to help protect the people, but it's also to help hold us accountable.
Interesting. Let's go on. Tuskegee has struggled with infrastructure and public service issues for years. What makes your plan different from the promises that we've heard in the past elections?
That is so good. What makes my plan different is the way that I deal with people. And a lot of the promises that have been put forth, the relationships I've had and I've made have given me the understanding that some of these things haven't come into fruition because of the broken promises and broken relationships that said politicians in the past have made and put forth. And so what makes it different is that I have a proven track record in the places that I've worked in, with the people that I've worked for and who I currently work with, who can show measurable results. And so I'm not just promising something I want to do. I'm promising something that I'm currently doing, but I want to do here. And also on the grounds of relationship, which is a term y'all will hear me use a lot. I want to speak to the connections that I have currently because of the projects I'm working on now with ALDOT, Alabama Department of Transportation, and Federal Highway Administration and others. These are relationships where people are wanting to do work here in Tuskegee. They want to do it, and they want people in office who they can trust. And I am one of those people who you can trust. And I'm telling everybody, give a shot. Let's hold each other accountable, hold me accountable. And let's see after 4 years if we're show and telling or if we're just blowing smoke. I believe we can show and tell.
Gotcha.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Lewis, in your opinion, what is the biggest mistake that the current city council has made, and how would you have handled it differently?
That's a real good one as well. I say the biggest mistake was the hurriedness into this form of government. I know the benefits, and I see what are the pluses and the minuses. But when you push the people too fast and they can't see the signs on the side, it becomes somewhat of a blur, and people arrive at a place with conclusions that you may not want them to have. And so what would I have done differently? I would have pushed for more aggressive public information sessions, or definitely a public relations department would have been a good time to have one. That's something I want us to have, would love for Tuskegee to have. And we got to be able to disseminate and push information to people and broadcast it to them in a way that they can get it and understand it, even if it comes to us having to act it out in plays and skits. You know, like this is what your governor or your city councilman does. This is what they can't do, what they can do. So that's one of the biggest things, the hurriedness into this form of government that we're in, I think, has been the biggest mistake lately.
With regard to public safety, we've had issues with public safety recently and transparency in the department.
Yes.
What is your opinion, and how would you handle the issues relative to the police department?
Yes. I hate to be redundant, but transparency is something that must utilize the persons in the community. You can't just say that I'm going to be transparent without having a system in place. And so we need to assess all the systems in place that are at the level of the police department and public safety, all that is connected to it, to see how we can implement certain things to ensure that when people even request information, that is freely attainable and given. That means we need to vet every single person who is working, every person who is appointed. Then there needs to be an assessment of everything, everyone. And that is not to say that people are not doing their job to their best ability. That is to say that we are at a critical time and we can't leave any stone unturned. And so I would want to do somewhat, I hate to say forensic, but yes, I want to get in there and see what is really going on and assess what we can do, what we can change, what may needs to be tweaked, what needs to be put away, and what may need to be implemented. But it would take other professionals too, like Colonel Boyd, Guy Trim. We've talked about these things even in Zoom calls and on a mass level to figure out what we can do on the grounds of public safety for our communities. And so with that being said, it's not just something that is contingent on the police either. It's not just their jobs. It is our job to keep each other safe and to know each other. And once again, there goes that relationship again. The more we know, the less likely we are to misbehave. And a lot of these things that go on in our city, when it comes to the crime and even the violence, quote unquote, these things are real issues. But a lot of these issues are family issues. A lot of these issues are outside issues that come into the city. And there are some things that we can do that are practical, that I think an assessment would be the first practical step.
Understood. As we reach the end of this time, let's lighten it up. Mr. Lewis, tell the audience and all the viewers something about yourself that most people don't know.
Oh, wait. Something about me most folks don't know. Well, if you know me, you may know this, but if you don't know me, I got a little voice. I can sing a little bit, you know. And so, yeah, I don't do too much, but hello, is it me you're looking for? I can see it in your eyes. I can see it in your smile. You're all I ever wanted, and my arms are open wide, and I just know just what to say, and you know just what to do, and I want to tell you so much, I love you. So now you know.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Lewis, for joining us on Tuskegee Online.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Everyone in Tuskegee, this is your candidate for District 4 in the city of Tuskegee. Make sure you like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, and click that notification bell so that you never miss any of the additional episodes. Thank you for watching. Tune in for the next one.